time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got our special co-host of the day. We've got Colton back with us, but I, you know what? We were joking last week. I had several people message me in one form or another and was like, what happened between you and Bryant? The truth is Bryant died. No, I'm just kidding, guys. He actually has COVID. So, that's why we have Colton filling in for him. We appreciate Colton doing it. So Colton, we appreciate you, bud. How you doing, man?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm doing great, man. It's been a good week, solid week. How about yourself?
Oh, dude, it's been a really good week. I had a really good week at work, and, you know, that's always a great feeling when when you're enjoying what you do during the week, and then you get to do cigar stuff on the weekend, man. That is a great week.
Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it.
It's like a sore pecker. You just can't beat it. So anyway, let's talk about what we're smoking tonight. I gifted you a cigar.
Yes, sir.
And I'm smoking the same thing, and we have the Casa Cuevas Habanos. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about that before the show started because you had never had one.
No, sir.
And it's just, I mean, if you look at it, man, it's a really pretty stick.
Yeah, I mean, got good color to it.
It's got a nice sheen. It's oily. Yeah,
there's no real imperfections in the wrapper, nothing like that. Solid, man.
Yeah, and we were talking about it because he had not had one. And I said, I don't do cigar reviews. I don't do ratings. But in casual conversation, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And the explanation to that was the blend itself, I would give like a 9. Mm. The quality tobacco, I would give a 9. Mm-hmm. What makes it a 7 for me is I've smoked several and the inconsistency on the construction.
Right.
Because sometimes the construction's a 10, mm-hmm. but sometimes it's a 5. And that just, I hate playing Russian roulette. I mean, I would probably like it if there was money on the table, but not with a pistol with a chambered .357. So anyway, I love the Casa Cuevas, and I think a 7 would represent what I think of it. And you can see today that mine's burning fine. How's yours burning?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Mine's burning about the same. I haven't really had to touch it up or anything like that. Like you were saying, the construction is an important part of it. When I first started smoking, I was all about the flavor. It's like, do I like the flavor? But then the more you smoke, it's like, okay, do I really want to sit there and screw with a cigar that's falling apart?
And that is everything to me.
Yeah.
If I have to mess with the cigar because the construction's not 100, mm-hmm. it just annoys me. And if you annoy me, I can't enjoy my cigar. Like, I haven't even thought about the construction on this so far.
Right.
That's perfect.
And, when you're sitting there having to fiddle with it, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of smoking this cigar.
Yeah, and I mean, there's tools out there where you can skew a cigar. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that.
Yep, you shouldn't have to.
No, and I'll tell you what I've done mm-hmm. is, like, say I have a 6-inch cigar.
Right.
And I try it, and it's a really tight draw. Mm-hmm. I take my XO cutter,
okay,
and I cut it in half, and then I try to smoke it again, hoping that I cut off the part that's plugged.
Right.
And if I did, cool, I'll still smoke it. If I didn't, now it's trash.
Yeah, because at that point,
I'm not cutting it again.
No. And at that point, you're looking at the construction of the whole cigar, like as a unit,
right?
Is making it tough rather than just you got something stuck in it somewhere, like a plugged section or something like that. You're looking at the cigar as a whole is kind of is too tight,
right? And then it's over for me anyway.
Right, and like I said, in my cigar journey, I've come to appreciate the construction a lot more and. Put more credence toward it. Because like I said, when I started, it was all about the flavor, but that's just half the battle.
And that's because when you first start out, I mean, there's some guys that like research everything when they first start doing anything.
Right.
That's not me. I was a trial and error guy.
Yeah.
And so for us, mm-hmm. caring about the construction comes later in the game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you start finding the blends that like really set your soul on fire, then, well, if that blend is something I love, I got to be able to smoke it, and I got to be able to smoke it without thinking about it.
Got to have that full experience.
Yeah, and so, and that's the other part is we had some great guests yesterday down at the Leaf. I'll just say that Emmanuel and his woman came to visit. And I'm just kidding. Her name is Veronica. So anyway, they came down and they hung out with us. They brought me some booze.
Oh.
I gifted them some cigars that I thought they would really like. And we hung out and just had a great morning at the Leaf. And so I want to say thank you to you guys for coming down. I hope we can do it again. Because I really wanted him, I was hoping he would spend the night, and I was like, dude, I'll have you on our show as a guest, because I love his whole story. What a great couple. And so, and dude, they're driving from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Dang, what the heck? That's how long of a drive is that? That's like
7.
Golly.
So they left on Friday, drove and got to Big Spring at midnight, stayed the night there, and then was in Abilene at 8.
Oh.
They went over to Dixie Pig, ate breakfast, and then they showed up at the Leaf at 10.
Now that's a good morning right there. I tell you what.
Great morning, but dude, they drove home that evening.
They went straight through
all the way.
Golly, that's tough driving out west to here at least. That's just one thing after the other looks the same, man.
Right. I mean,
same.
you could drive 100 miles and look around and you're like, have I moved? Because it looks exactly.
A lot of dirt.
A lot of dirt. Not much else.
Nope.
So anyway, we also had these distinguished ruffians come down. I don't remember which chapter it is. I know it's a Texas chapter, but I'm not sure if there's like more than one Texas. No, it just says Texas chapter.
I feel like it's just the Texas
okay.
chapter.
So they had a meeting. Jim and was there. What was that? Will was there. Do you know Will?
Never met him.
I never met him, and he lives here in Abilene, but he's always working.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, he's actually a member in the back.
Really?
And he was like, I hardly ever come back here. I always sit up front, but I love having a locker here. And so he hung out in the back with us yesterday. And then we had Vic from San Angelo. You know Vic. He's part of the Cigars for Warriors.
I feel like I've met him once upon a time, but it's one of those deals. He probably wouldn't remember me, but I would remember who he was.
He is. You know what I've decided?
What's that?
Before I tell you what he is,
okay.
I've decided that in December for the 3-year anniversary show, we are going to name Cigar Talk's Brother of the Leaf of the Year.
Oh.
And I don't know what we're going to give them as an appreciation, but I've decided, you know what? I've met so many good brothers of the Leaf, sisters of the Leaf. And so anyway, and we're not calling it people of the Leaf. We're brothers of the Leaf. If you're a female and you win, you're still a brother to me. And we'll get into that later. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, no, I was thinking that. I was like, I've had the honor to meet so many good people.
Right.
And even if I haven't met them in person, I've met them online. And there are just so many good brothers of the Leaf that I was like, you know what? We need to recognize these people because they go above and beyond in so many different categories. You know what I mean?
And that's just a good part of the whole, like we discussed last week, the cigar culture as a whole. You get a lot of that camaraderie because you automatically have something in common. You love, the Leaf, you love smoking cigars, and that's just kind of an entry point. And you get to meet so many great people.
So there's like, the cigar community is far and wide, make up of all different walks of life.
Yes.
But there are a portion of the cigar community that go above and beyond to make new people feel welcome, to share with others. And I mean, they are just the example of what you want people to be in the cigar community.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm not even that guy, trust me. But saying all that, I mean, and then you have just the guys that don't hardly contribute anything, like Scott Fritz. And
thought we were past that.
No, we're not. We're not. I had to get one in. Scott, I'm serious. Anyway, No, I'm just joking.
Oh, man.
Is that uncomfortable?
No, I'm great.
Okay, good. I don't want you to feel, oh, you know what? We didn't. So all that to say, a brother of the Leaf in the running
Yes.
is whoever I was talking about, Vic.
Yes, Vic.
Vic, I've been drinking. Anyway, I want to tell everybody what we're drinking tonight. Well, you know what? You're going to have to show your own.
Okay.
Because me and Larry are drinking the old tub, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you're going to be able to try some.
I mean, I'm always down.
If you're down, I mean, I have clean glasses, and we would love for you to try some of that. It's bottle and bond. Mm-hmm. So that means it's 100 right out the gate.
Right.
It's got a little spice to it. It has a little heat to it, but not over the top. And it's turned into be one of my favorite bourbons. Larry, how you digging it? So he says he's doing all right.
All right.
And the price point on that is $25.
Oh, shoot. That ain't bad at all.
All day long. All day long. In fact, I picked up this bottle in Sweetwater at the Golden Crown liquor store. They actually have a nice selection over there. And, I mean, the length of the bourbon aisle is probably about this shed 1.5 lengthwise.
Okay.
And then it has 4 shelves in front of you and behind you, all bourbon.
And this is out in Sweetwater. Huh?
Yeah, I was blown away.
That ain't bad for a place like
No.
that. Not at all.
Because usually, dude, have you been to that little liquor store out in Potosi?
Not in Potosi. I know what you're talking about. I've never
It's
stopped
like a
there.
gas station.
Yeah, it used to be a
or
gas station. Yeah.
I went in there hoping maybe to find a little gym because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Worst selection I've ever seen. I was like, you got nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, if you want Jack Daniels or Jim Beam, head right on out to Potosi. So,
yes, sir.
and you know what? If I'm in the middle of nowhere, I might drink it.
Might as well.
So,
Might as well while you're there.
anyway, that's what I was saying about Vic is he's just one of those all around good guys. He brought a bottle of Eagle Rare, and we just hung out and had a good time, man. There was a lot of with the other ruffians there. There was a lot of people I got to meet that I hadn't met before, and then Mike. I don't know Mike's last name, but anyway, he came in and he joined up to be a new member for the Havana room.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so he hung out back there with us, and we were just having a good time. You know, Presley.
Oh, yeah.
Presley was back there.
Oh, nice.
Brian was back there.
All right.
You know, we were having a great time until Fritz walked in. But anyway, let's move on. So let's talk about our spot. Oh, you want to show what you're drinking? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Sure. No, you're good. No, I got the Kraken Attacks Texas edition. It's just it's a limited.
Is anything different other than the wrapper?
I literally think it's just the bottle, and I thought it was cool because it said Texas on it, and I figured, what the hell? But I like Kraken. It's black spiced rum. It mixes well, but it also drinks by itself just fine. High proof for a rum. It's
94
proof, so it'll get you where you need to go. But yeah.
Now, have you ever had the Bamboo rum?
Yes, actually, you were the first one to introduce me to that.
And did you hate it?
I didn't hate it. It was very fruit forward, kind of on the sweeter side to me.
To me, it was like if you took 500 pounds of cheesecake and put it into an ejection kit and forced it into my mouth at one time. It was like that. It overpowers me with sweetness.
Right.
And when I have that much sweetness, I turn into water.
See, I can't do that much at once. If I can take a drink of it, or maybe drink a glass of it, but past that, I'm kind of
yeah, I could never have a second.
Done after that.
And we've had that bottle on the shelf for probably, 6 months, Larry?
Oh, damn.
And so I think there's probably only been about 4 glasses poured out of it. So,
that's really all you need, honestly.
Well, I know, but that's been in 6 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I have enjoyed some rums. I just don't care for the sweet, and I don't care for the spice.
Right.
And it's that has spice in it.
Yes, it is a black spiced rum. And it's like I said, it mixes well, but to me, it drinks okay. I tell you what, though, if you ever want to try a smooth rum, that's what you just described, the Diplomatico, because they make cigars.
I've had Diplomatico.
The Special Reserve.
Yes.
Oh man, that stuff goes down like water. It's dangerous.
That is very, very good. And then there's one other rum that Zeka brought us, and I can't recall the name of it, but to me, it was the best rum I've ever had.
Oh.
And it was just straight up sipping rum. You know what I mean?
Have you ever tried that Flor de Caña?
I think Jay...
Yeah, he likes to keep a stash around of that stuff.
That's really good, too.
Yeah.
That would probably be number 2. Mm-hmm. And I'm not very experienced in the rum realm.
No, I was on a rum kick about 3 months ago for about 3 months. And so, that's good stuff, I tell you.
Okay. I don't really get on kicks of any other sort than bourbon. Like every once in a while, I'll try a little scotch.
Right.
But as a scotch drinker, I would estimate, because I'm not going to take a scotch journey. It's just too expensive and there's too many scotches I don't like.
Right.
But I would estimate that I like about 30% of the scotches out there.
Right.
So I'm not going to spend a fortune finding the 70% that I don't care for.
Right. And that's, just like cigars, everyone's got their own flavor palette. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't spend the money on it.
And we're going to talk about the top 5 worst cigars. And you got to remember that cigars are subjective.
Right.
If you absolutely hate something, there's 1,000 people out there that love it, or they wouldn't make it.
There's a reason that they sell that.
So these are the top 5 worst cigars that I have either tried, I know of, or other people have told me.
Exactly.
So and you know what? I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt.
Oh no.
Because if you get your feelings hurt, I still don't care. I just don't want you to.
Right.
So
it's not the intent.
That's fair. Right. I'm not here to, make you feel good because you make a shitty cigar. No, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, some of these cigars were from other people. So I didn't even come up with some of these.
Right.
So we'll get to that after we do the weekly Pick 6. But right now, let's talk about a couple of different of our sponsors. The first one is The Leaf. You work there. Woo. And, I was talking to a very good friend this morning, one of our Patreon members, Groot. And Groot works at a shop one day a week on Saturdays.
Okay.
He's the only guy there on Saturdays. Oh. And this is a smaller shop. And I forget where it is, but he drives an hour to get to work.
Ooh.
And I mean, he is like, to me, the dude is worth his weight in gold as a tobacconist.
Oh, okay.
Like, that shop has no idea how lucky they are to have a guy with the amount of knowledge that he has, the personality that he has, the level of commitment and caring to no matter where he works. He's just that kind of guy.
Top notch.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to make it happen. Because he told me, he was like, oh, yeah, the day was great. We had X amount of dollar of sales. And a guy came in that had never been there before. He didn't even know we were here. And he bought cigars. He brought some scotch, 21-year-old scotch.
Oh.
And he's like, you know what? I'm not even going to drink this unless you join me for a drink.
Oh, man.
And then the guy stayed all day and said, he even ordered food for everyone. And he said, I didn't know you guys were here. I'll be coming back every week. And I'm like, that's the pieces of the puzzle when you build a cigar community.
Yes.
And I was like, and as good as you are, once people come in and experience, because that's what it's all about. It's about the experience.
Absolutely.
Because if you're an asshole and you don't give a shit, when the customer comes in, they may buy cigars, but they're not coming back. Or if they do come back, they're not hanging out. Yeah, they're just zipping in, zipping out.
In and out, yep.
And so I was like, man, that guy doesn't know how lucky he is to have you, because this is the beginning of you building the community for that shop. And once you build it, I mean, it's rock solid.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at the Leaf.
Yeah.
You think about how long that community has been being built. I mean, I went there the first time in 1998. So I don't I don't know how long they've been open, and I wasn't even part of this. I was buying a gift.
Right.
I didn't smoke cigars at that time, but I thought, oh, this is cool. And they were like, gave me the experience, even though it was just a gift.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It wasn't for you.
Right. But it always made me think, I should go there sometime. But
Right.
I didn't know shit, and I stayed away for a while. But anyway, all that to say, good job at the Leaf, because that's what you guys make it about, is the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've got the Noah's Ark of humidors.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's at least 2 of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, the amount of cigars that you guys carry are just mind-boggling.
And like we talked about last week, that's what Jay's about, making it about the customer experience, you know?
Well, 100%. I mean, yesterday, dude, I bet there was 14 people in the back.
Oh, wow.
And when Jay came in, he went to every single person in there
Yes.
to shake their hand and ask them how they're doing.
Yes. And just the nights we spend up there late, you know, going over the books and doing all the stuff. If we discuss business strategy or anything like that, it's about how can we improve the experience. It's never about, you know, how can we make more money? That's obviously part of the discussion is, you know, how do we continue to make the ends meet? How do we continue to make this a viable thing? But the main focus is how do we improve the experience? And that's just, again, like we talked about last week, that's his focus, and he's very, very driven to achieve that.
I have a suggestion.
Hit me with it.
You want to know how to make the experience off the chain?
Hit me with it.
Every time someone walks in, you hand them $100 bill.
Man, you talk about repeat business, man. Shoot.
There's a line around the block to get in if you're doing that.
Nothing like a little customer loyalty, huh?
Right. So, no, if you guys are interested, look down the show notes and you can order from the Leaf. Most cigars that we talk about on the show, you can get at the Leaf. That's where I smoke. That's where I hang out. And, you know, we are blessed that Jay and Corey sponsor the show. There's an inkling that Jay and Corey may be swinging by later on in the show. We'll see if that actually happens. We did start a little early today. But anyway, look down the show notes, give them a call. And, I mean, they take care of you. When you order cigars, they get them out usually the same day, if not the next day, with a Bovetta pack, and it's 2 days. Boom, you get them.
Yep.
I hear from people all the time that order from them, and they're like, dude, the guys that came from Las Cruces,
Yeah.
he regularly orders at Jay's because he gets great service and they carry so much. And I mean, they're always bringing in new stuff too.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at the whole Black Trading Company label line you brought in.
Oh, yeah,
Look at the Tabanero you brought in. And I mean, they've got all of the McAuliffe line. They've got Roma Craft like crazy. They've got Viva La Vida. And, of course, they have all your standard brands. They got Crux. They got Definition Cigars. I mean, they got, dude, it goes on and on.
yeah. For days and days and days.
And they're working on bringing in more.
Always.
That's what I love about these guys. So give them a call, guys, and let them know that Cigar Talk sent you. And then we also have Tabanero Cigars.
Oh,
dude,
man.
I have been just like up at the batter's box, just bam, knocking them out because the cool thing is, I mean, it's one of those cigars that I actually love.
Yeah.
So every time I run into someone, I'm like, hey, if you smoke this cigar, give it a try and let me know what you think. I want to know what you think. I know what I think.
Yeah.
And the Habanos, like, I love the Connecticut.
Yes.
That was my first love when I found their line. But, dude, that Habano, I was like, whoo. I really love the Connecticut, but that Habano takes it up a notch. And it's, to me, it's a great morning stick with coffee or an evening stick with a bourbon.
Very versatile stick. And that's the thing I love about most Habanos is you kind of get that it's kind of the crossover territory.
Yeah.
But, man, like you talk about, though, that Habano from Tabanero, it is next level stuff, man.
I agree 100%. And so we want to say thank you to Tabanero. And if you'd like to order some, call Jay. The phone number's in the show notes, or we'll have the link to Tabanero down in the show notes because you have a bigger selection if you go to their website because they have a ton of different cigars in their line. And Jay just brought them in. And I think he plans on expanding, but right now I think he's got like 4 different facings.
Yes.
Well, 4 different facings with multiple Vitolas.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
You got the Connecticut, the Habano, you got the Nero Maduro, and then the ones that we keep up front.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you tried one of those?
I was looking at them today. I got my eye on them, but I'm just kind of like, ooh.
I know. You know, when you say a $50 cigar,
Yeah.
it's like I was talking to somebody in the shop the other day, and we were talking about, you know, expensive cigars. And like, I really like the Padron 50th.
Okay.
It's a $50 to $56 cigar.
Okay.
And I don't buy them, even though I love them, because I can buy a Padron 1926 for $27.
Half that, yeah.
And I love it. And then the rest of that $50, I can buy 1 or 2 really good cigars, so I get 3 for the price of 1. And as a blue collar guy, that's the way my mind works.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I see a price tag of $50, I'm like, if I spend $50, that better be one badass cigar.
And I'm exactly the same. In fact, me and Brian were talking about that the other day. You know, when you spend that kind of money, anything really over $25 for a cigar, it for us, you know, it better be the next best thing since sliced bread, kind of a thing. You know,
right,
what I mean?
right. And I mean, you want it. I mean, it's the experience.
Yes.
A $30, $40, $50 cigar, I want it to knock my socks off.
It has
and
to.
I want to sit there and enjoy it and be thinking, I want everyone to try this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's worth what I just spent on it.
Right. And so, you know what I think would be fun?
What's that?
Is if we all like picked like a Saturday or Sunday and all of us try that cigar.
Now that would be something.
You know what I mean? Make it, and so it's not just you in this $50 stick, but you with other people, and we all try it at the same time
And
give feedback.
And that's back to the community, man. You get that together. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be fun.
Absolutely.
If you are in the Abilene area and you would like to participate, I think we're going to schedule that in November. We'll do it on a Saturday, and we'll just say, hey, man, everybody who wants to do this, do it. And we all come in and buy our own sticks at $50. And if you're a member, you get 10% off.
Yes.
But, and on a $50 stick, that's $5. But anyway, yeah, I'll plan that out.
Okay, yeah.
We'll make it a date.
About to say, let me know. I'll probably be working that Saturday, so I'll be there anyway.
Nice. Well, we wanted you to be able to come back and hang out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure that Jay is available. In fact, I'm going to talk to him about it tonight. I'm going to say, Jay, man, we're going to need Colton at least free for 40 minutes.
We can make that happen.
That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, look down in the show notes at Tabanero, and you can go to their website and see everything they carry. And we will be giving an update sometime middle November. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Bryant has smoked one.
Really?
Yes, and he went on and on and on about it.
Oh,
but here's the thing. I don't trust his palate. I don't trust his ethics.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just kidding. I love Brian. No, but me and Brian have very, not similar, but unsimilar.
Different?
We have very different palates. And so, because like he can smoke a Fat Bottom Betty.
Oh, okay.
See, that's not happening for me.
Yeah.
Someone gifted me one, and after I lit it, I was like, no go for me.
I've taken like 2 drags off of one. I bought one for a friend of mine down in New Braunfels once, and she tried it. She really liked it. She's like, oh, you got to try this. So I took 2 puffs, and I was like, yeah, that's great. And I handed it back to her.
There you
and
go.
I didn't ask for it again.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it. And I mean, even the leather rose.
Yeah.
Like, that's even too sweet for me.
Really? Okay.
And I had a friend of mine, actually Brent, the owner of the Train Car Cigar Bar over in Big Springs.
Yeah.
He told me the best way for a guy like me to smoke a infused cigar or something like that, a sweet tip, is to smoke it backwards.
So you don't get that sweetness on your lips.
So you don't get the sweetness on your lips.
Okay.
And so I tried that, and I have to say right out of the gate, it was better.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't stand a sweet tip.
It hangs around.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like me, instead of drinking this old tub, if I was drinking Fireball. You know what I mean? Disgustingly sweet.
Oh, God.
And so when I turned it around and smoked it backwards, I cut off a good portion of that tip.
Right.
And smoked it, and I still didn't enjoy it. And maybe you could find a sweet tip cigar that you would like.
Right.
But that particular one, I was like, you can tell it's quality tobacco, but I still don't like the blend.
It's funny you mentioned smoking it backwards. We had a little moment the other day.
Oh, dude, you told me about this.
Yeah.
Listen up, guys. Listen up.
So, guy comes in to the shop late about an hour before we closed one night last week, and I was the only one there. And he came in, and I was asking him the questions. You know, what's your favorite? Do you smoke often? What's your flavor profile? And he looks at me and he says, treat me like a first timer. And I was like, okay, well, the fact he said that makes me think he's just getting into it. He smoked before. He kind of knows what he's doing. So I walked him around.
I had a girl tell me that once.
And how'd that work out for you?
I was in jail.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding you.
God.
Go ahead. I'm messing with you.
But he, so I walked him around. I sold him a
definition cigar.
Yeah, a conception.
Yes, I remember. Because you told me.
It was like the next day when I saw you.
Just bought. No, it was that day.
Oh, it was, yeah, you
I
came
had
in.
just come up after he had finished.
Yeah, and so, like I said, very nice guy. He was from out of town. I was doing my best to, help him. And he was asking about restaurants downtown. I was giving him the whole rundown. Well, anyway, so he's like, we can smoke in here, right? And I said, yeah, go ahead, have a seat. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be right over here. Help yourself to the lighters and all that stuff. So he sat down, smoked for probably about half an hour, 45 minutes, enough to kind of smoke it down a little bit. And then he gets up, and that's when he was asking me about restaurants. And I noticed he was holding his cigar kind of weird. I looked at it, and I couldn't really pick out why. And then I directed him to a local restaurant, and he said, oh, thanks. And as he turns to leave, I see he had started smoking it backwards. Like he had cut the end, lit it, and it was burned almost up to the band. And I was kind of like, I wanted to stop him and say, hey. But then at that point, it was kind of like, well, it's too late. Like,
right. He'll learn.
Yeah,
he'll learn. If he enjoyed it and comes back, or if he comes back, period, and you see him, you'll be like, hey, man, let me talk to you for a minute.
Right. And I just, I felt kind of bad because I didn't catch him before he left. But at the same time, I was kind of like, it's a little late to say something like that, right? Because he was already going out the door. And I was like, I'm not going to chase him.
When you're very new, you come in and you say, treat me like it's my first time.
Right.
That's an indication that, hey, this dude doesn't know shit.
Well, and it not even necessarily that, but it's like we've been doing it for so long. It's hard to remember. It's hard to remember what people don't know.
Right.
And so
it really is.
And like when I was teaching,
you take for granted what you do know.
Exactly. That's like when I was teaching, you have to kind of take all your knowledge and not dumb it down, but put it on a level that everyone can understand. And it's hard to remember where that is.
Right.
So either he has never smoked a cigar before, or someone played a really mean prank on him and told him the wrong way.
Right.
But I was like, but anyway, if he does come back, I will make a point to, be like, hey, I noticed this last time, just so you know, that works. But
and you know what, I would take it a step further with that guy. If I saw him again, I would pull him aside and say, hey, I noticed when you were here, you lit the wrong end. Let me show you the steps from cut to cold draw to light, and if you have any issues on the way. You know what I mean? Because that's a dude who probably would love... Because I would have loved that if someone did that with me.
Oh, yeah. And that's that again, back to the community thing, that we're all there to help everyone have a great experience. That's why we're there. That's why, like, tobacconists and staff at the stores are there. We're there to help. We should be.
That's not why Fritz is there. Just messing with you, man.
No comment. But yeah, anyway, that was just a little fun story from last week. I got a little bit of a chuckle out of that.
Fun things happen at the cigar shop, and sometimes they're intentional, and sometimes they're just observed.
It's absolutely.
So Anyway, man, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we have a few topics that we want to discuss. We're hoping that Corey, one of the owners, shows up during the break. Otherwise, we're going to come back and record the second half. And then if he shows up, we'll pretend that he came in the middle. So we'll sandwich it in the middle. Anyway, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a little break. Hey guys, welcome back. And Corey made it just in time to make the show. And I mean, we were done with the first half of the show, and I didn't know if they were going to make it or not, but they walked right in. We poured drinks, and we've been drinking and smoking cigars, and we thought we would let you in on a little bit of what's been going on around here. So welcome to the show, Corey.
Thank you. Hey, if not nothing, I'm known for impeccable timing, so glad I could make it.
Well, I think the last time you were here, you walked right in on time as well. So there's something to be said. It's probably your military background.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you're not 15 minutes early or late.
That's how I've always been.
It got confusing when you had to be early for the 15 minutes early. So you're
pull that
30
down in
minutes
front
early.
of you, bro.
Like more like this.
Yeah.
So when you showed up 15 minutes for the 15 minutes early, then you started to question what early really meant.
Right.
All of that.
Right.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. And I grew up with that expectation. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, I fell in line all the way up until I was like 19.
See, and I had a parent that was the opposite of that. So every time we went somewhere, we were late. And so that stuff sticks with you when you're a kid, and you're like, I don't want to be that person.
So you like being early?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Or
cool
at least,
deal, man.
At least not late.
Right.
On time.
Right. You know, I've always thought that, you know, I understand from time to time that somebody will be late. Yeah. It happens. But if that one person is late regularly, it means they don't give a shit about my time.
Right.
So that kind of irritates me. I don't know. It being a cigar show, I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but yeah, I appreciate early and on time.
Like it's just a cigar show. This is a show about everything. Come on.
Well, and you know what? That is true. We do, you know, talk about all different parts of life on the show, whether it be sports, cigars, lounges, anal. I mean, you know, we're across the board.
I know. You talk about all your favorite things. So.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, man, when did you get in town? I didn't even know you were coming down.
Yeah, I got here kind of late Thursday night. So I ended up driving this time, so it was a long day. And I ended up leaving from my house. It took like 15 hours. So
did you get a rental?
Long day. No, I drove my car.
Wow. Last time I saw you drive, you got a rental.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of rentals. And then now there's like a thing where rentals are kind of hard to get. Or if you do get them, they're expensive.
Yeah. Because that was like a year ago when you drove down in the like Ford Fusion.
Yes. Yeah, the blue one.
Yeah.
And I also was looking at cars then, too. So I was kind of using it to judge cars.
I love being able to drive rentals and be like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind driving one of those.
Yeah.
And then, like, sometimes you're like, that's a piece of crap.
Yeah, I think it was a Toyota had the driving aids that I thought were kind of intrusive. They were the auto braking and the radar for cruise control, and they were... Yeah,
you know, I drove a rental not long ago that was a Toyota Sienna. And it had all that.
They make those where I live.
Okay. Yeah. And so anyway, I'd never had the radar in front.
Yeah.
Like I've had one that will tell you, hey, you're getting close to the line.
Yeah.
But never like slow you down and you can select how far away you want it to be. But I kind of love that feature.
Well, that's exactly what I was having problems with because
I love being on cruise control.
You like not paying attention?
Well, no, I don't like using my foot all day.
You like texting and driving. So.
Negative. Negative. That is that's a sin. So, I will never do that.
What I kept having happen was the cruise control. I put it on the closest setting you could get, and then so I would be coming up on a car to pass them, and I'm usually I usually get out of
Are you aggressive on your...
No, I'm not, because I don't like it. And so I call that invading my personal space, even though you're in a car. But, you know, it would come up. You get to the point where you're getting ready to pass them, and you just start to get over, and then the car would automatically start slowing down. So... Well,
and see, I appreciated that, though, because, I mean, I'm apparently less aggressive than you are.
Right.
But I like the fact that when, you're in the slow lane and you've got traffic passing you to the left, which, I mean, if you're in the left lane and you're not passing people, get the fuck over. Just do it. Because, dude, that drives me crazy. If you're in the fast lane and I don't drive fast, but I have to pass you on the right, dude, you have, ruined the last 20 minutes of my life.
They actually just passed a law where I live that it's illegal to drive in the left lane if you're not passing somebody.
Well, yeah, that's the law here, but people do it all day, every day. I mean...
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people here in Texas aren't, qualified to drive on the interstate. People go get their license, they take a test, and, they can tool around town, but they don't need to be on an interstate where the speed limit is 70 or 75 because they don't, how about when you're going 75 to 80 and someone's on the freaking highway going 55?
Right.
That's about as dangerous as you can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because
I'm always looking out for those people coming up from behind me. But when you come up on someone who's doing 55, it's like, holy crap, they're not going.
It's a danger of a different type.
Yes, right.
And see, the thing with me is that, so by the time I get to the Metroplex, I'm about 12 to 13 hours deep in that drive, and it's about...
Now, are you talking about Dallas-Fort Worth?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
So by the time I get there, and it's even if I leave at 6 in the morning, it's 6, 7 at night. So
it's 12 hours just to Dallas.
Yeah. And
wow.
Another couple hours over here. So
yeah, well, from Dallas, it's almost 3.
Yeah. So by the time you're kind of tired and you get to that, it becomes a whole different ball of wax because it's a, I don't know.
What kind of car do you drive?
It's an Infiniti G37.
So and do you smoke in it?
I don't generally, no.
Do you smoke on it when you're driving down here?
No, I do
not.
What
a loser. What a loser. Dude, why? Why don't you smoke in this car? What year model is this car?
It's a 2010.
You are so anal. You are so freaking anal. 11-year-old vehicle and you don't smoke in it.
Me and smoking are a weird habit anyway. Sometimes, it comes and goes in phases. So it's like I don't have to smoke for 12 hours. I can.
No one has to smoke for 12 hours. But what a blessing it is if you can.
Right. True.
I want to look like Cheech and Chong rolling down the road with cigars.
There is a part of me that thought about did I want to smoke in it? And I didn't want to. Yeah. So that is probably a little bit.
Do you have your car here?
I do. Yeah.
At the studio?
Yeah.
So when we get done here, I'm going to go smoke in your car. I'm just going to, I don't want it to move.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get in it and smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can thank me later.
I will.
Because then you know what? Think about driving home and just having, and it's a 14, 15 hour drive. In 14 or 15 hours, just think of the relaxation with some really good music just twice during that trip.
Yeah. And driving does not bother me.
It doesn't bother me either because I smoke.
It relieves the stress.
I'm like sitting in the back lounge room while I'm driving.
Nice. See, that's why you want all those driver assists. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't mind driving, so it doesn't bother me too much. And
how are you liking that Casa Cuevas Habano?
Nice. Very nice, man. Very nice.
smoke. I've noticed that the burn has been fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the draw is bad, but it's
get over there closer to the mic.
It doesn't have a bad draw, but there's a little bit of...
Is it a little tight? Mm-hmm. A little tight. See, before, earlier when I was talking about that cigar, I had given one to Colton, and I told him that I don't normally rank cigars, but I thought, you know what, if someone who hadn't smoked it before... you would probably like to know about it, Yeah. And so I ranked it as a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being, really, really freaking good, that I would rank it a 7. And the reason why is because I love the blend on it.
Yeah.
I love the texture, the oily sheen. It's a beautiful stick.
Oh, yeah.
but I give it a 7 because it's random on if the rolling and the construction has been done correctly. Like the one I smoked was a dream. The one he smoked was a dream, and bam, yours is tight.
Well, and like Colton was saying
And
earlier,
and
it's got
I mean,
nice,
if that's tight, I don't even smoke it.
that's good.
I'm saying I don't smoke. I mean, I don't. I
I'm
mean, and
functioning-
you're like halfway through the stick.
Yeah, I'm functioning at a lower level than
I
you,
mean,
though, so.
yeah, there's a blood vessel in your head that's been like popping out
That's
when
why.
you. Yeah, dude. Well, I apologize,
Nah, you're
but
good.
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Can you
Colton.
complain about free shit?
No,
so
no.
That's why I'm.
I mean,
I'll
yeah,
smoke it.
but I'm gonna
Well, it's cool
because
too,
I have high expectations, whether it's free or not.
Well, and before we left the shop, I smoked one of the Tabanero Neros.
Yeah,
And so it's nice to have the two real different sticks to have a different palette going on there. So I'm enjoying that.
cool, man.
Yeah, and that was a good stick too. Definitely different from my norm, but I'm still trying
Have
to
you
figure
ever-
my palette out.
what
smoke different?
I think that's a lifelong,
Right.
ongoing process
Yeah.
because I think even as you explore what your palate enjoys, as you age, your palate changes. So it's just a continual journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jay does such an awesome job at bringing in different stuff that, every time I go in the humidor, even if I have something I like I've said before, I really am trying to test my palate and expand it. So when I go in there, there's always something I haven't had, and I haven't even smoked one. I hadn't smoked one of the Tabaneros until today. So it was my first one.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you think, bro?
I liked it a lot. Like I said, it was
Which one
outside
did you
my norm. It
have?
was the Nero.
Oh,
It
so
was-
you went with the Maduro with the box press.
Yeah, and no, I did the Robusto because I hadn't had
Oh.
it before. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to go kind of short smoke. And I got there kind of late because I suck at life. So I was like, we had a little short amount of time. So
You know
I
what?
just hit the
I didn't even
Robusto.
know you were in town. I walked in,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, you don't even know this. Like when you were in the office and I walked in and shook your hand,
Yeah, yesterday.
I thought that I was walking in to shake Jay's hand, and you stuck your hand out, and I was like,
You're
"What's
like,
Corey doing
son of a
here?"
bitch, I got to shake this asshole's hand.
No, I was just like, "Whoa!" I didn't even know you were in town.
Right? Yeah, and the fact that I'm the only one there, and you're like, is this place? Yeah, I think you even said something about it. But you're like, is this place still standing?
No,
today?
no,
Is
no.
assholes
I
running it?
said when you were behind the counter working, I said, "Are you the only one here?" And he was like, "Well, and I was like, "No. I mean, like that's responsible for the shop." And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
It seems
"Is that allowed?" He was like, "It's been working all morning." I don't know.
I was so proud. I made up some pipe tobacco, and I waited until Jay got there to do it, but I actually remembered how to change it in inventory, and that was pretty.
And you made up a blend?
Yeah.
Nice.
I know. It's like I really can. Do
Now,
some
was
stuff.
it like a blend that they already carried? You guys already carried?
Oh yeah.
So you didn't
This is
like
Scottish.
you didn't like make up a blend.
No. Well, yeah, we got all our number one testers and experimenters over here. Like, I think this would be good. For
I
these
think
people.
you should do that. We should have
Oh
a
my
Corey
Corey's-
blend.
God, that'd be a sure way to get somebody to not smoke and waste a bunch of pipe tobacco.
Hey, so before you got here,
Yeah.
me and Colton were talking, and I don't know if you know this, and I don't even know which cigar it is, but there's a Tabanero cigar in the case where the Padrones are.
Okay.
That's $50.
Okay.
And that's a lot of money for a blue collar guy to spend on a cigar.
Yeah.
But I said, instead of me coming down there and buying one and smoking it, what if we got several people who wanted to try it to all do it at the same time together in the back? Don't you think that'd be fun, Jay? So anyway, we're gonna do that. You won't be here. It's in November.
Right.
Are you coming in November?
Yeah, it's a plan. Yeah.
Are you really?
Again in 3 weeks, yeah.
Oh, well, we'll make it when you'll be there.
All right, should be-
if you
it's the
want to
week-
participate.
It's the week before Thanksgiving.
That's perfect. I think that would be a blast. And I mean, that's a lot of pressure because, Tabanero is one of our sponsors,
Oh, okay.
but we're going to tell you straight up.
I did not know that.
Okay, well, now you know.
Now I know.
So we're going to put them on the line.
Okay.
Is your $50 cigar worth $50? Because I haven't spent $50 on a cigar other than the Padron 50th, and I think that was 55.
Okay.
And it was a damn good stick.
Because you've had some, I know you talked about smoking some of the, I think like a Lost City or something, but those were given to you, I think, right?
No, I've smoked a Lost City, but that's 44.
Oh, okay.
Or at least when I was up in Fort Worth at Pop Safari and Cigars, it was about $44.
Okay.
And you know what? I thought that was a very good cigar.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough for me to continue to spend $44, but it
Right.
was like, I'd smoke that again.
Well, and see, so I always kind of wonder about that. Are there guys out there that's like their regular smoke?
Oh, yeah.
Are there? Okay.
There's guys that's their wheelhouse, and those guys make a way ton more money than me.
See, but my point here is that even if you made that much money, you wouldn't smoke that cigar as
Me?
your regular.
No, you're right. You're right. Right.
That's what I do kind of wonder sometimes
Right.
about some of that.
No, I know there's people that's their wheelhouse, and if they can afford it, that's what they smoke.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, how's that rum?
It's my first drink of it.
Oh, well, let me know what you think of that, because it's too spicy for me. I've had it before, and I'm not a big spice guy when it comes to rum. But
You don't like that?
no, I don't.
Man, that's
You got to talk more into the mic.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at it's 94 proof, man. That is smooth.
Push that over. There you go.
You want it dead on.
Dead on.
All right. So that is
So you
94
like
proof.
that?
That tastes, that has the, I would think that is 0 proof if you asked me. That is so smooth. That's ridiculously smooth, but it's real sweet.
It's sweet, and
Yeah.
it's got that rum spice.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the rum spice.
See, and I'm not
a fan of sweet.
See, and I'm not getting some of the spice off it, but you got to remember I had COVID 2 months ago. So there's
True.
some of that, that's why I'm surprised at some of these, some of the flavors off a lot of this stuff. I kind of sometimes I'm surprised. Like last time I was here, they handed me a grape flavored cigar, and I did not taste any grape in that.
Who did that to you? Who did that to you?
We'll just loosely term it the guys.
Wow. Do they not like you?
It was a test, I think. Because I'm like, does the whole room smell like grape? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't taste any grape here.
Yeah, you know what? Let me see. I'm gonna guess what cigar that was, but I gotta look at something right quick. I think I'm gonna guess what that cigar was.
This is you getting
based on feedback that I asked for.
Behind the scenes at the cigar shop.
And let's see. The Acid 20th Anniversary Croqueta.
Negative.
Okay.
It was not.
Well, I heard that one tastes like grape jelly, and that's on our list of the top 5 worst cigars.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't. This, I mean, theoretically, this would be a pretty good cigar. It wasn't in that range, so.
Gotcha. Well, no, and we made the clarification up front that cigars are subjective.
Right.
There's guys that like everything. Otherwise, they wouldn't make them. There's somebody smoking that.
Right. And it's, the palate's so subjective, and grape. I like grape.
I love a grape knee high.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I want to smoke a cigar
exactly
that tastes
it.
like
That's
grape.
exactly it.
I enjoy the earthiness.
Yeah.
I love coffee. And I love earthy, leathery cigars with a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because Jay schooled me here recently on the fact that different Habano wrapper, I always kind of had it in my head that all Habano wrappers were a certain type. I didn't realize that you can have Habano wrappers that are aged more and that have more of that the flavor has been changed that much by being fermented and aged longer. So that kind of surprised me, because I think, I like Habanos, and then sometimes
there's a whole wide range of Habanos.
I didn't even understand that. So it's, once again, just my mind is blown, and that's why it's still so much fun.
I mean, and it goes the same with a lot of different wrappers. I mean, like if you look at the Connecticut, there's some Connecticut's I'm not a fan of, and there's some Connecticut's that are my very favorite cigars.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of working towards Connecticut's. I still feel like if you gave me a good Connecticut, that would be wasted on me. Because
before you go home,
taste that stuff.
Smoke the Tabanero Habano.
Yeah. And once again, though, especially now having COVID, I'm not sure what, if anything, I'm getting is correct.
Well, you don't have COVID now.
No, I don't.
Thank you.
But my taste is
I was
still
going to be
whacked
like,
out.
you got COVID right now?
Come here, Rob. No, it's been 2 months since I got over it. So.
Okay. Well, I had it in January, and I still can't smell like I used to. Like, I can smell, like, moments.
Yeah. It's my taste came back a lot faster than my smell. Like I said,
Yeah, same here.
3 weeks ago, I'm smoking a grape flavored cigar and couldn't taste grape. So,
Well, what I do love about it is, like, I can smell more at this time than any time, and that's when I retrohale.
Okay.
It's like when you have that right there up against the senses, then that's when you get the most.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I've not figured those kind of things out.
What is it that you do for a living other than being an owner of the Leaf?
So I work on the Ohio River, and I work at a dam. So
a dam?
Yeah, I work at a dam.
I didn't know there was dams on the Ohio River.
Oh yeah, it's the whole length of it.
Really?
Just from the end of the Ohio up to Cincinnati, there's 10.
Wow.
And then there's 2 more sets of that all the way up.
So
to
how do
Pittsburgh.
you travel by boat if there's all those dams?
So the other part of a dam is a lock. It's called a lock chamber. So, you put a dam in a river and the water behind the dam.
So it's not like the Hoover Dam.
No.
I mean, it's not that far.
Oh, no.
Because if you had a boat down at the bottom of the Hoover Dam and you wanted to move that boat up top, that's a lot of water.
Yeah. So we're talking more like 10 to 15 feet is a general.
Oh.
They call it a lift. So the lift is more like 10 to 15 feet on the Ohio River. And it varies, but yeah, that's usually what it is.
And where does the Ohio River originate?
In Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, it's where I'm going to forget the names of them right now, but there are 2 rivers that meet right there that make the Ohio, and it starts in Pittsburgh. That's why they call Pittsburgh the 3 River City, I think. Or
I thought
totally
they called
that
it
up.
the Steel Curtain.
The Steel Curtain. What is that?
Pittsburgh Steelers, baby.
Oh, yeah, right. But yeah, so that's where the 2 rivers meet, and then it starts.
I'm a Cowboy fan, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, if you're a football fan, you have to be like at least in awe of a team that represents the union workers,
right?
The blue collar guys,
right?
Because that team still today represents those guys.
Yeah, and
to where the Cowboys, I can't even afford to go to games. Yeah. I mean, they've made it so expensive that only rich people can go to those games. And you know what? Hats off for them. They're making a lot of money.
Right.
But I'm not going to pay $400 plus parking of $100 and then food of another $100. So $600 to go see a game.
Yeah, and I'm a union guy, so we have a union workplace. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm active in my union too, so.
I'm at my regular career, I actually am a member of 2 unions.
Okay.
And I don't use either one of them because I crossed over into the company side and I'm a manager. But if something ever, changed, I could go back and work in those crafts.
Well, and I always say that having been in the union and being a part of it, once you become a manager, I think it helps because more. I mean,
you understand,
and you have a bigger knowledge of what is going on at your workplace and how it works. And I think it makes better managers.
Well, I hope.
I try to stay away from that antagonistic. And
yeah,
and I have a really good.
There's no benefit for that.
I think I have a pretty good working relationship with my supervisors. I don't know what they think, but I think if we all get along and we can all help each other, like rising tide lifts all boats. We all
absolutely.
Kind of lift each other up.
Unfortunately, I have some pretty good bosses, so I appreciate that as well.
And there are work sites where they have more of an antagonistic relationship with their union guy. So I don't think that is productive for anybody.
No,
so
either side, either.
Yeah,
it doesn't help either side.
And then there can be fallout for the other employees, and I would not want that. So, because I feel like you're responsible kind of for some of that. We're trying to help everybody. So that's
right.
the point.
And that's my big thing is everybody helps everybody.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for swinging by and
Thanks for having me
hanging
on.
out with us and drinking bourbon and smoking a cigar. Sorry it had a tighter draw.
Nah.
Mine smoked great if it makes me feel better. And so anyway,
I know what you've done to Brian. I figured you were like, this asshole's coming on tonight. Let's give him this thing.
Hey,
No,
I don't know
been
if you
fine.
know
It's been
this.
it's been a good stick.
but last week we didn't have Bryant on the show. And the funny thing is, I called because his wife had COVID.
Right.
And so I called him up, and he was like, "Oh man, I've been distancing myself from her, so I tested negative, and I've been sleeping in the other bedroom."
He's like, Rob, I need some time away from you.
And well, no, I said, "So you've quarantined with your wife? I'm cool if you come record with us."
right.
And I was like, "Larry, are you cool with that?" And I look over and he's shaking his head no,
I was gonna
like
say,
this
yeah.
is ridiculous. And I said to Bryant, "Oh, Larry said he's down with you showing up." And Larry says, "That's not what I said." And I was like, "Oh, never mind, you can't come." But then when we had the show, I told everybody that on the show that he resigned. So I got tons of emails this week saying, "Hey, what happened with you and Bryant?"
I'm somewhat frightened that people took you seriously.
Yes,
That's really
yes.
weird. I don't.
Bryant actually texted me the next day and said, "WTF, bro?" And I was like, "Dude, it was a joke." And he was like, "I got people messaging me saying, 'Hey, what happened with you and Rob?'"
It appears there are a few people that might even like you on the show better than Rob.
I
so
doubt
they're
that.
actually upset.
So, hey, but here's the funny thing is that a day later, Bryant calls me and tells me he tested positive for COVID. So that's why he's not on the show tonight.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So hopefully
we got that cleared up.
We'll get that next week. Bryant will be back.
Cool.
So, well, thanks for
and
stopping
we
by.
we
bro.
wish him all the best, man.
We wish him something. But anyway, well, hey man, thanks for stopping by again.
No
man.
problem.
Be good,
Appreciate
bro.
it.
Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We enjoyed having Corey as always. And then out of nowhere, a comic book hero arrived. And now we've got Spider-Man with us. How you doing, Spider-Man?
Doing good.
So no, we got Jay Patterson, the owner of the Leaf, with us tonight. And you don't even know because you guys got here right at halftime. And so we got you guys in the show. But man, the things that we were talking about with how you guys operate, I mean, you guys hosted the Ruffians this weekend.
Right.
There was a lot of other people there this weekend. There was a lot of events going on downtown Abilene. And the Leaf, as always, was the place you could just come in, relax, and enjoy the company of other people.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys have built a place that the cigar community feels at ease and can just enjoy.
Well, 100%.
So, I mean, thank you for that.
Hey, you're very welcome.
I had a great time, and it was great to see all the people who had come in from all over. I mean, there were guys that were like 30 minutes away all the way to like 7 hours away that came in. And that's a testament of the experience you get at the Leaf, man.
Yeah. And this weekend was also homecoming for a lot of people. And with Hardin Simmons, I think ACU, Abilene High, also they all had homecomings this weekend. And the Leaf, keep in mind, the Leaf has existed since 1998. And so a lot of these folks have experienced the Leaf at one point or another. And so it was just it was a little bit of point of pride to be able to present the Leaf as it is now to these folks and just have them realize it's still around and it's still awesome.
Let me ask you another question about the Leaf.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this, and we've talked a lot about, like, I know your focus is customer experience, and I appreciate that. I love that about the Leaf, and I love the whole way you guys set up the Leaf as it is now.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you would like to change, add, or subtract from the leaf that you think would make it even better? Because I know you've got a million ideas.
I have a million ideas, but I really don't want to give anything away.
Okay, well, if anything's labeled top secret, Rob, shut the hell up. Okay, but there's some out there that you got to be like, okay, well, this is pretty self-explanatory.
I would say number one, and this was no fault of mine or Corey's, and I'm not trying to plead for absolution. We had no idea how loud those smoke handlers were going to be.
Okay.
And we play music in there because it's nice. We like music.
The music actually is like more enjoyable than if you just have the sound of the fans.
Right. It's
and I'm down. I agree 100%.
It's just this low droning noise that we couldn't really anticipate. We bought these things. We had them built up for the shop.
Well, and they were the top of the line in their category.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still
100%
a sound that takes away from the experience.
It does.
But you installed a Bluetooth radio system.
Yes.
So that you guys have music in the front, in the back, in the Havana room. Your actual consumers can listen to whatever they want. I mean, within reason.
Correct.
I mean, let's not be ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. And
but I haven't ever seen anybody be ridiculous.
What's been really nice too is, everybody's an adult and
right. And we're respectful.
For the most part, we're respectful, but at the same time, we're also, we're
individuals.
We're not gonna shy away from saying, "Hey, that sucks. Can we listen to something else?"
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if your music, library that you're playing is taken away from the experience, then if someone speaks up, you should be respectful.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're listening to Enya, I mean, that's not right.
I don't know that music.
That's late 90s. Late 90s.
Now, what category would you put that in?
Shit.
I mean, like, I know, but what genre?
Hey, we used to say her first name was Up.
I would put that in
like
alternative emo.
Okay.
Like just
see,
the Outcast rock.
my music as I knew it died in 90s. Like everything that I loved and had grown to know as music just died.
Oh man, you gotta lean into the audio tune. The audio is it
No.
called audio tune?
No, I know. I'm not leaning into that.
I don't know what that is. Vocal distortion.
I can't
That's
dig
what
it,
it is.
man. I cannot dig it.
Yeah.
I mean, the style, the sound, and the ability all took a dive.
Well, I'll tell you what. I might look young, but my jam is 70s. That's what I grew up listening to.
Yeah, and see, I grew up on 50s, 60s, and 70s. And then, of course, I was a teenager in the 80s. So those generations of music is what I consider to be music.
Yeah.
The shit today, 90% of it is complete shit. I mean, to each their own. Music is much like cigars. Everybody has taste. Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening to it. So I get it. There's people out there that like it. It's just not for me.
Same, and I agree. There's obviously a market for it. It's just not ours. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
So anyway, we were talking about the Leaf earlier. Just what a great get together it was with all the different people of all different walks of life coming in. Some locals, some that live 30 minutes away, some that live 7 hours away.
Yes.
And it was just a great cigar community get together across, all the different layers of society.
It was really nice to see a lot of the guys that I've only talked to on social media.
Right.
You
Get back over there on
Yeah.
that, Mike.
get to know these guys through social media, and then you meet them in person, and it's a different dynamic. It just takes it to the next level.
And you know what? Emmanuel left, and like 30 minutes later,
I know.
I was like, dude, we forgot to get a picture with us. Because we were having such a good time just hanging out. You know what I mean?
Right. And I remember when I showed up, you're like, Emmanuel was here. I was like, oh, no. Because I've talked to him on the phone several times. And it's so great to meet these guys in person.
Oh, yeah.
And I legit felt terrible.
Like you missed something big. Yeah. And, I have missed him at the Leaf several times. And sometimes I guess he didn't ask or didn't know that I was in the back, and he didn't know I was in the back, so he just got cigars and left. And I was like, dude, always ask if I'm in the back. And then other times I've just missed him.
What if at the register we have a Cigar Talk placard, right? And it's one of those, you ever been to Bubba Gump's Shrimp Company restaurant?
I have.
So, the signs that you flip to run, Forrest, run, stop, Forrest, stop.
I don't remember those.
It's whenever you want, like, the waitress or waiter to stop.
I sat at the
pass by.
bar.
Anyway, we should have something for Cigar Talk where it's your logo. And if it's facing outwards, it means that either you or Bryant are on the premises somewhere. And then if not, we'll just kind of turn it around or put it in the back.
You know what you should do? No, this is another way. For anybody that comes into the Leaf. Now, do you know anything about cattle ranching?
The cattle. They're delicious.
This is true. But when you want to herd cattle, do you know how to do that?
There's dogs involved.
No, well, that can be one way, but you can also have this long rod with a handle on it. It's called a hot shot. And you can like prod someone with it, push a button, and it shocks the shit out of them.
Okay.
So every time people just come in and say, hey, is Robert Bryant here? If we're not here, they get one of those.
And if you are here, do we shock you with them?
No. If they are here, you just point them to come back.
You just whack the shit out of the camera.
Put it on his right quick. That's fantastic.
We're doing it live.
Well, we always do it live. I just usually edit some things out. Nothing on tonight's show's getting edited out. That's just the way it's going to be.
That's good.
Anyway,
get some rest tomorrow.
So I wanted to bring up Tabanero cigars to Jay.
Okay.
Because you surprised me and brought them in. You didn't tell me you were going to bring them in like when you made the decision. You told me we're going to be getting those in after we had talked about the brand. And so I was surprised. And what I would like to know is, what has your feedback been from those who bought the Tabanero cigars outside of anybody that's within Cigar Talk?
It's been
straight up, no BS.
No BS. I wasn't going to BS anyway, but the response has been, this has been a great cigar. Now, what's been surprising for most people, we can sell them on a cigar that's about $14.
Right.
It's the price point.
Sure.
About a quarter of the folks come back periodically to buy them. And you've already seen we had to expand the Habano line.
Right.
And
I love the Torpedo, but I'm telling you right now, the Toro is my wheelhouse on the Habano. Something about that length and that gauge, that was a perfect cigar for me.
I hear you. Yeah, I can see that. But the predominant feedback is, this is a great cigar. And now it's a matter of, can I afford to buy it over and over again? And we'll carry it. It's gaining traction. And for the most part, I think it's going to be a success in Abilene. I was surprised when Yanko contacted me, and he left me a voicemail saying that he's very excited to be in Texas. I would imagine that this is in other shops in Texas.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, yours was the first, and then another shop shortly after you started bringing them in, brought them in. Because I talked to him a few weeks ago, and he was like, he was so excited to be in a couple of shops in Texas. And the funny thing is, I was talking to Bryant back in the Havana room, and Brian said something about getting a Tabanero at the train car. And so I immediately called Brent, the owner of the train car, and I was like, dude, I heard you're carrying a cigar, which I'm surprised you've even heard about it. And he was like, what is it? And I was like, it's a Tabanero. So I assume that you've been listening to the show. And he was like, we're not carrying that cigar. But I was like, okay, cool. Because I was just like, somebody's carrying it and they know what we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's one of those cigars where, I mean, they're a sponsor of the show. They send us a couple of boxes of cigars. I'm smoking the shit out of those. But when I come down to the shop, even though they're like if you go from cheap, medium to high-end cigar, they're definitely at the medium plus level. Mm-hmm. I'm still buying them because they're that freaking good.
Yeah. And I'd say the experience from us is what sells it too. Because you look at, Colton's had some, I think he's had one.
He's had the Nero Maduro. We talked about that earlier.
And I'm not sure if Ellen had any. Casey's had some. Scott and I have had a few.
Right.
And you sell out of your experience. And so when you can put that honesty and truth behind talking about the cigar, not
which
just
is
what
the
you
only
read.
way we take in new sponsors.
Right. And
if we love you, then you can be a sponsor. If we don't love you, we wish you well.
maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Thanks for trying.
But honestly, that's how we feel about our sponsors. If they didn't meet those levels of customer experience and, just the pride that you have in buying or owning those products, then we don't want you.
I understand that. Yeah, 100%.
I know you do, because that's your whole thing is customer experience, and that's what it comes down to.
That's exactly what it is.
And let me tell you what, as a cigar smoker, not the host of Cigar Talk, separate myself as just a cigar consumer, yesterday was about as good of experience as I've had in any cigar lounge ever.
Really?
It was just a phenomenal day.
That's very awesome.
With all the different people, with the ruffians, with just the regular guys that show up, and then some other guys that showed up that are not in the regular. It was just a great day, and I was like, there's no place I'd rather be.
Man, cigar shops are so eclectic. And it is really the crossroads. You would never know who you meet, really. And you could be a regular at a shop, and you have no idea who might show up that day. That might just be foot traffic, but they're a regular.
Right.
And
like, there's lots of regulars to the Leaf that I don't know them.
yeah.
And
there's a lot of regulars to the Leaf that you do know or have heard of, but would have never thought would smoke cigars.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times when I'm talking about cigars, wherever, and they're like, oh, yeah, I go to the Leaf all the time. I'm like, I've never seen you there.
Right.
And you know what? Most of those guys come in, get their cigars, and get out. And there's a big portion. What percentage of customers would you say that sit and smoke and enjoy there versus picks up and goes?
15 to 20.
Which is which?
That sit and stay.
15 to 20 sit and stay.
Yep.
So let's just say at the top of that, so 80% of cigar smokers don't take the time to enjoy the cigar experience at the lounge.
At the lounge. They have a unique cigar experience
Somewhere
elsewhere.
else. Right.
It could be with dad, or it could be with a group of friends. It could be with, smoking meat or grilling. It could be something that speaks to them personally that doesn't translate with sitting around in the lounge.
True.
So they're still brothers and sisters of the leaf,
Absolutely.
but it's elsewhere. And that's what people need to remember and support is no matter who you meet, they might be a cigar smoker. They might be a more aficionado than you are. You just don't know, because if you're sitting around at the lounge, you know the regulars.
Right.
You see some people, even regulars that are foot traffic, but you don't know who all enjoys cigars. And what I would like to imagine, or what I would wish, which there's no way to ever do it, is I want to go with these folks that I see on the daily basis that are foot traffic, and then be in the moment that they're enjoying them.
Where they're lighting up their
Right.
cigar.
Like I want to be in that moment and experience that with them.
Weird.
I know that sounds weird, but the big thing for me is, again, it's all about experience. I want to know how you're enjoying it elsewhere, and seeing if we can even facilitate that in the shop. We don't want to ever become someplace that's so eclectic that there's no way anybody could feel comfortable.
Right. You don't want me to be like, man, yesterday I was smoking a cigar with my donkey, so I brought it in today.
Right? And have a donkey next week.
Right.
And just to come full circle, you don't want to be like, well, I was enjoying my cigar the other day with pounding out to Enya. But no,
if you say donkey, pounding, and Enya all together, that takes on a meaning I don't want to talk about.
that's probably doesn't belong in a cigar lounge.
No, but we had a great time with all the different groups, all in the Havana room at one time.
Yeah.
Like, you have different experience depending on which group of people you might be hanging out with.
Yes.
And yesterday, it was so many different groups all melded into one that it was just fun.
And that's the neat thing about cigars too, being that that crossroads of the community, is you have so many different varietals of people that when you come together, you have that one core unity. But it branches out, and it can do that in a small 850 square foot room, or it could be anywhere else. You can have different walks of life, different political spectrums,
And
different
age
religious
groups.
beliefs, different age groups, and you're just all enjoying company because you all share one common unity,
Right.
and that is cigars.
Absolutely, man. And, that's the cool thing is we always talk about different walks of life, but you have also the different age brackets.
Yeah.
I mean, not very many places would you have 25-year-olds hanging out with 50-year-olds.
Right.
I mean, at a bar, not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe if you took your grandson to the bar with you, but other than that, probably not. So, I mean, it's just unique to me how cigars bring people together from all walks of life across all generations. And something I wanted to bring up with, and I told you that on the break, how about Alabama beating Tennessee and all the football players come out smoking cigars and fans brought their own cigars and they all smoke together?
That is phenomenal.
That is cool.
That is so cool.
I mean, I saw that and they actually had pictures of all these fans on the news website. And it was just, I mean, probably at least 25 people submitted their pictures in the stands with cigars. And there's way more than that.
And you know that people don't just go to games with cigars. And so there's some kind of coordinated effort there. But at the same time, as a display of unity, in the year and the day where we have those commercials that are just targeting nicotine or tobacco, it's nice and refreshing to see that there is still that unity, that the people that paid to see and the people that are there to play, they're one.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
just one group, and it's brothers and sisters at the Leaf enjoying themselves, having a great time. I'm very curious, though, in hindsight, what if we could ever receive, or maybe you can receive, a list of the different types of cigars that were smoked that day, because I'm very curious to know. Not for any sales propaganda or anything like that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just very
like to
curious.
know.
Like I'd like to genuinely know what people are smoking.
Let me just tell you what I smoked while I was there. So I came in and I immediately went in and I got the Tabanero Habano because you had told me about the Torpedo and I didn't know that we had those. Right. So I picked that up and then I picked up 2 of the Fonsecas, which is like the 6x46 or 44. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the. Is it the? I don't think it's the Cedros. It's the one below that.
I don't know. I just know that I love that cigar. Yeah. And I bought a couple of those, and then I came out, and Emmanuel and his
Cosacos. That's what it is.
Woman,
Cosacos.
Veronica, was out front. And so I gave her one of the Fonsecas, and because she smokes, more medium to light cigars, and I was like, this is a medium flavor profile. However, it is a little strong on the nicotine, but it's a great cigar.
Yeah. And
then I forgot what he was smoking, and I lit one of those up. But when I went back to the back, Ponytail Gary, he had a cigar that I had never seen before. It was wrapped in white paper with a gold band with red writing on it.
El Rey del Mundo.
And I was like, I've never seen that cigar before.
Yeah.
And so I was asking about it, and I said, the thing about it is I'm interested in it. I want to know what it's like. But it looks to me like a tampon. If it had a string, it would look, because it was wrapped in white paper.
It kind of does.
It looks like the Centurion from my father's, the band, with white paper on it. Is that a good description?
Yeah.
I mean, the band doesn't, it's not exactly
the band's
that, but,
different, but
it's red and copperish gold and whatever. But anyway, what's his name? Shit. Gene comes back there and hands me one. He's like, hey, you were asking about the cigar. Here you go. And I was like, dude, thank you, And so I don't know if you've seen Gene lately, but he's wearing a sling.
Yep. He had shoulder surgery.
Yeah. I was like, I hope everything works out okay and you don't end up like Matthew, but, we're still going to love you. Anyway, he gave me one of those cigars. So I had that. And I had several cigars that were gifts, and I gifted. Oh, and I also went to the humidor and picked up a Pappy Van Winkle cigar.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, I asked somebody else if they had smoked it, and they're like, yeah, I have, and it was actually really good. I thought it was probably just going to be a gimmick cigar. And I said, it's funny that you say that, because I thought it was just going to be a gimmick too. Turns out, I really do like it.
It's good.
So I bought me and Emmanuel one, because he had thought that it was a gimmick, and I was like, no, man, you got to try this cigar.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a great time back there, and it was one of the best experiences I've had at the Leaf, and I've had a lot of great experiences back there.
I'm very glad.
I thought you were going to say, thank you. Thank you very much. And then I would say, Elvis has left the building.
I'm recovering from the Matthew comment.
That was a true statement.
Well,
So,
yeah. I mean, physically, yes, it is.
in fact, when everybody was showing up in the back, I mean, it was getting, it was filling up.
Yes.
And I told Matthew when he walked in, because there's an event going on, seating will be at a premium, and anybody without the use of both arms will not be allowed back here.
Aw.
And then I was like, except for you, Gene, you're good.
Oh.
Because eventually you'll have both arms back.
No.
But that's the kind of fun we're having back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Matthew takes it. He could dish it as much as
he dished it out plenty.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just had a great time because everybody's family.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really great, too, is you don't really know who you're smoking with, and it doesn't really matter. You could show up to the shop and sit down and start bullshitting with some old guy, right? Or somebody else. And not realize till later, like, oh, that's the city manager.
Right.
Right?
Or some attorney.
Yeah.
Or some dude that hosts a cigar show.
Right.
You don't ever know.
Because you go there to smoke your cigar. You stay for camaraderie. And there's not a hierarchy.
And the cool thing about it, too, is if you haven't done this before, go to a lounge, check it out, because I promise you, nobody cares. There is no hierarchy because no one cares.
Right. It doesn't matter. You bought that cigar. You can sit and smoke it so long as they allow you to.
There's no litmus test at the door.
Right.
There's no political party check at the door.
Right.
There's no... Okay, I'm not going to go there.
There's no
But
pronoun
anyway,
test. I know you were going to ask.
There's no pronoun test at the door. We're all welcome.
We're all welcome. Everybody is welcome. At least at the Leaf, everybody's welcome. The one thing that we will
check is if you're
check.
under 21.
We'll check if you're under 21 or, of age, according to the Texas State Comptroller.
Which you have to.
We have to. But no disrespect. Like, that's one thing. Like, you will inevitably encounter somebody that's a different walk of life from you.
Sure.
Somebody that's a different
I think that's what's so
political
interesting
aspect
about
of you.
it.
Exactly.
I think that's what's the interesting part.
And that's your opportunity to engage the
And
other
to
side.
see a different perspective.
Yes.
I hang out with Larry all the time. I know his perspective. I'm sick and tired of it. I would love to hear something new.
One thing that my predecessor has instilled in me is, it's about the people. And you have to cultivate an environment in which people feel comfortable to be themselves.
Yeah. And that was one of this Saturday.
Yeah.
Bill and Ed were there.
Yeah.
Two great guys that you want to hang out with because their perspective is completely different because they were around back when Adam and Eve were born. You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to get different perspective like that.
That's good.
That's true. No, but I love their perspectives. I love their stories because it's a day and time I have no information about unless I visit with those people.
Well, and also,
Those times are gone.
also they have information and stories of times that are just recently gone that it's nice to remember how it was when you didn't have to worry about pronouns, or you didn't have to worry about COVID, or you didn't have to worry about offending somebody and then being canceled.
Right, right. It's a different time, a different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And they experienced it to the fullest.
When your opinion actually mattered, so long as it didn't offend anybody else, didn't really... I phrased that wrong, but it didn't matter if your opinion offended anybody else. It was your opinion, and then we
grew
moved
up
on.
watching All in the Family and the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Those were amazing times. And the cool thing about it was in those shows, people said whatever they had on their mind. And if it offended you, then you don't watch that show.
Well, you don't watch that episode.
Or if takes it to the max, you don't watch that show no more.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's a show. It's not my parent beating the I'm kidding you.
Watch something else.
Right, exactly.
Nothing to see here.
So I was going to bring Colton on before the end of the show, and I think what we're going to do is bring Colton back on the Light 'Em Up Crew Show, LUC. And so we'll do that. So before we go, I wanted to talk about the top 5 worst cigars.
All right.
Do you have any that stick out to you of being the worst? Because it's a very delicate subject.
It is.
And one of the reasons why is because palates are different.
They are.
And the cool thing about being a cigar smoker is we don't really get offended because somebody likes something or don't like something, because I really only care about what I like, and what I like doesn't affect you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So in order for us to give a top 5 worst cigars, some people like these cigars. Otherwise, they wouldn't be made.
Right.
So here's my number 1.
What's your number 1?
Trader Jack. I've never smoked one.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Which one?
The Caribbean.
I would say all of them.
Okay, well, that's the only one I know. And I say that because when I worked at the Leaf, and people would say I would like a Trader Jack, and you open up this jar and this toxic level of nuclear waste just expunges your sensory perception. It's like, holy crap, that's bad. I didn't even want to open the jar.
Well, I'm sure you'd have developed this by now. You know, if your schedule didn't change and you stayed on, you would have developed this by now. What I do, it's a trade secret. If somebody wants a Trader Jack, and you bring out that...
where are they at? Are they in the shop? I haven't seen them.
They're up behind the counter, but it's been on back order.
Oh, I did not know that. Because a lot of people love those.
Yeah. I think we get more on the 25th of October.
Okay.
But, so what you do is, you're like, Trader Jack's, okay. So, you bring the little canister up, right? You set it down on the counter. And then you pop the lock lid thing off.
Right.
And then you just kind of slide it over, and then you start punching in and be like, yeah, just take whatever you want.
Is that how you do it?
That's how I do it.
All right.
That way I don't have to catch the first response of the smell.
Oh, man. Because I've had, and you know what? And this was before I ever had COVID, because since I've had COVID, I don't smell as good as I used to.
You smell bad.
But I was like, as soon as you open the canister, it just permeated like a 10-foot radius.
Yeah.
But and that's me.
And granted, it's been contained so long.
Right. And,
which is a testament to those damn containers.
And what does one of those cost? What's the retail price on a Trader Jack?
Depending on region, $2 to $2.10.
Okay. So I mean, it's an inexpensive stick.
Yeah.
So it's really for somebody who is really just looking to smoke some tobacco.
Or cut it open and put something else in it.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Is that, you think that's a thing?
There's a lot of folks that come in that, they'll buy cigars, and we'll sell them cigars because we're selling them cigars. But I have this sneaking suspicion later that it's not going to be smoked as it is sold, but it's still lit on fire and enjoyed.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm being naive, but I thought that they did that at the gas station.
No.
They come into the cigar shop.
Some people do, yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever works for you, I don't care.
Hey, float your boat.
Float your boat, merrily, all the way down the way.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's my number one. Do you have any that you would make your worst top 5?
Cuban rounds.
Cuban rounds.
Yes. Have you heard of those?
I have heard of those. I've never smoked one of those.
So, one of our distributors had sent us a bundle of Cuban rounds, and we gave one to Bryant, but we took the band off and made him smoke it.
He probably loved it.
No, he was like, "What the f is this ass?" It was just.
So it was bad.
It was terrible. Now, they make it in such quantities
that you never know what you're going to get.
Has to like them,
and it's probably an ever-changing cigar. You know what I mean?
So.
There's no consistency.
Maybe.
I mean,
not.
how much is one of those?
I think they retailed for $2.
Okay, so on a $2 stick, there's no construction consistency. There's no blend consistency. It's just scrap. At least that's what I'm guessing.
I'm guessing too.
You know what I mean?
I haven't.
Let's call it a Cuban round, and people will smoke it. And you know what? People do.
And I don't know what the hell the name comes from, or what.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I do know.
You do know. Okay.
So
enlighten me.
Back in 1937, there was a Cuban woman who rolled cigars, and her name was Alma Cervante. And she weighed about 750 pounds.
Ooh.
And she was literally round. Okay, I'm just making a bunch of shit up. I don't know either.
I like Alma.
So anyway, okay, so that's your number 2. This one was given by Zeka.
Okay.
And I think when I look at like people that I respect their cigar information,
Yeah.
Zeka's one of them.
Absolutely. Sips and Steaks.
Yeah.
Zeka, we love you.
Absolutely.
I just like being around him.
Dude, he's a great dude.
There was one time
Let me tell you right now.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about the Cigar Talk brother of the Leaf of the Year.
Yeah.
He's in the running. I mean,
Nice.
he's just a solid cigar brother. You know what I mean? But anyway, his choice for top 5 worst cigars was the Kentucky Fire Cured Swamp Thing.
Ooh.
And his explanation was they tried to reinvent the wheel and failed with a dry, harsh dog rocket. Almost like back on the farm burning brush and the wind shifted and you get a big breath of assaulting in your mouth and throat. I mean, if you tell me that's what a cigar experience is, I'm going to say that's definitely in the top 5 worst cigars.
It's got a hint of Kentucky and terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, if we fire cure this dog rocket, maybe it'll be, no, it's still a dog rocket. It just has some Kentucky fire cured personality with it.
It was like if you fed it Chihuahua X-Lax as well as wood chips and then lit it on fire.
Right.
No. I can't remember if I did have one. I had a Kentucky Fire Cured
Swamp Thing?
Not a Swamp Thing. It was
Yeah, but this is the swamp thing.
It's the Candela.
Which,
yeah.
and that's what I was going to say is, I have not been a fan of Candela cigars. Now, to be fair, I've only smoked the Arturo Fuente 858 Candela.
Yeah.
And I didn't enjoy it. I've smoked the Roma Craft
Fomorian.
Black Irish,
Okay.
which is not a fair comparison.
Right.
I've smoked the Alec Bradley Hooligans, which I did not enjoy, but it was a gift, and I had seen it all over on social media, and I was like, I'd like to try that, but I don't know where they are. And Randy Baker in Lubbock actually gave me one, and so I was excited to try it. I didn't enjoy it. The Candela part of it, I don't dig. What do you think about Candelas?
For me personally, I don't mind Candela as long as it's supplemented, like in the Black Irish.
I thought you were going to say supple. See, on the Black Irish, the Candela leaf, because it's just a very small footprint on the cigar, I do consider that to be supple.
Okay.
That's supple.
Because the flavor profile of the Candela is so punchy.
Yeah,
that,
it really is.
if
When I
you're not-
toasted the foot,
Yeah.
I said to Bryant, that smells funky.
Yeah. If you're not used to it, you're going to need to have something barber pulled in there or something supplementing.
Yeah, I
Candela.
definitely, if I have the Candela, I have to have it as a barber pole because just straight up, it's too pungent.
Yeah. I think the ratio that I would go at the most would be the Oscar 2012 barber pole.
I haven't had that one.
It's a barber pole Candela, and then
Now, is that wrapped in the leaf like the other Oscars, the leaf?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, this one's siloed.
I do enjoy the Oscar, the leaf cigar line,
Yeah,
where they're wrapped in the tobacco. I think that's a very underrated cigar. I think a lot of people miss out on it because it looks way different than other cigars.
it looks like a tamale.
Right. You're like, I'm not hungry. So I think a lot of people have missed out on that cigar just because of the presentation. But if you enjoy it and you appreciate it, I think the presentation adds to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So anyway, I'm a fan of Oscar. I'm a fan.
very good. So what's
So what's your number 3?
number 3? Number 3.
Worst cigar, top 5.
So, from time to time, I will. Everybody's familiar with Scott.
Fritz?
No, Debosky.
Oh.
From time to time, I would look at our store manager, Scott.
I was
and
like,
say-
no one knows Scott Fritz. Sorry, go ahead.
and I would say, Scott. And I'll raise my eyebrow like this. And I'll say, do you want to play a game? And at first, he doesn't know what I'm talking
It's
about.
not my grandpa's favorite game.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's either going to be we're going to smoke something weird or drink something strong. And
I've been there for some of those games.
yeah,
I love that
you
game.
have been. And
Yeah.
so, depending on the time of day, when I raise my eyebrow like this and I say, Scott, you want to play a game? He knows right off the bat if it's smoke or drink. And earlier in the day, it's smoke. And now he will tell me no. Just flat out no. Before he used to say, what is it? But now it's just no.
No.
Because I burned him once.
What'd you burn him on?
I burned him on our Drew Estate Acid Challenge,
Ooh.
where I said, do you want to play a game? We need to each go into the humidor and pick out an acid and smoke it all the way.
All the way.
All the
now,
way.
that is a challenge.
It is a challenge. So
I couldn't do that.
now, granted, you can't pick the same one, and I went first. So I picked
What'd you go with?
the Blondie.
Because it's small.
It's small. And so,
Please tell me he didn't go with the deep dish.
no. So
Because that deep dish box press, it's like a 60 ring gauge. I don't know what the length was, but that was like frightening. That was like a bad Halloween movie for me.
well, Scott chose the nasty.
I've never smoked that.
It is.
Nasty.
So there's a couple of different cone-shaped cigars from Drew Estate that a lot of people enjoy. Nasty
Sure.
is one of them. When Scott smoked his, I won immediately. He got about a quarter of the way in.
And couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. I got about halfway, and I won. I can't tell you what the prize was. Because I can't remember. I think it was just a pride thing. But then later, I tried one, and I got about a quarter of the way in.
On the nasty.
I did, yeah. There's no sweetness to it, as you would think an acid would, but it is just, it's got a weird funk to it that doesn't sit well with my palate. Now, I understand that we sell a lot of them.
Sure.
And that there's a clientele out there. That's just not me. I
And
can't.
being a cigar shop owner, you need to make sure that you carry a little bit of everything because you want those guys that are enjoying those to have the experience as everyone else.
Well, exactly. And
But that doesn't mean that you like it.
yeah, and I don't have to like every single cigar in the humidor.
Because everybody's not coming to smoke just what you like.
Exactly. And I'm not going to make or break the leaf on my wallet.
And I mean, there's a lot of guys that love cigars that I don't care for.
Yeah.
And I'm sure vice versa.
Yeah. And I would say for me, again, just for me, it would be the Acid Nasty.
So here's another cigar that might surprise you to be on this list for me because it's not a disgusting cigar. Like the cigars that I put on my list, I'm like, I think that is disgusting. And this is the LFD Naz.
Yeah.
Because to me,
Is it Naz or Nas?
I don't know. It's NAS. But that cigar for me was like one of those challenge cigars.
Yeah.
Because it is so potent nicotine wise that I was like, oh, I gotta smoke that. Because,
Somebody told me that NAS stood for nasty as...
shit.
Yeah.
Nasty ass shit. That's what I was told. I don't know what it actually stands for. But
Do you know what LFD stands for?
La Flor Dominicana. How about that?
Let's just stick with that.
Okay. So the NAS, though, I smoked it. It was a challenge. I hadn't eaten anything. And although it didn't make me sick,
Yeah.
there was a substantial increase in nicotine. And I did not smoke another cigar for 4 hours after I smoked that one.
Dang.
So it didn't make me sick, which I think it probably would make a lot of people sick. But even for me, I was like, I'm not even going to smoke another cigar.
Dang.
It was that
Yeah.
strong. But I mean, aside from that, what value? I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a bad cigar just because it's a powerhouse. It's a cheroot, and it's almost like smoking a Toscano cigar without that fire cured flavor, but it's still all rough and about the same gauge and length of a half Toscano. So that's my number 4.
Okay.
So what's number 5?
Number 5.
Do you have one? Because if not, I've got another one from someone else.
Oh.
If you want to take the easy way out.
No. Number 5 for me would be, honestly, it'd be the Blanco 9.
Yeah, you know what? I feel that way about all the Blancos.
I know how you feel about Blanco. There's some that's good.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, some of the Blancos are good, but you know what? There's a lot of the Blancos that are just here and there. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything to blow my skirt up. At the price point it is, I thought it would be better.
Right.
That's just me.
And a lot of the effort and financial support put towards marketing the Blanco 9, you would think that it
would be a stand-up cigar
it's a-
that is on its own 2 feet.
It would be stellar.
Yes.
But for me personally, no. It tastes like for me an LFD double Ajero that's trying to be something else, and it didn't leave me feeling satiated.
Yeah, you kind of smoke it and be like, "Well, I already know that cigar from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't need another one."
Right.
And you know, when we smoke different cigars, we're looking for a little bit of difference. You know what I mean? That's what, from one brand to the next, from one blend to the next.
You're looking for the wow.
Yeah, I mean, and if I get a wow off of this cigar and you make one exactly like it, I'm no longer wowed by your version.
Right.
Because this guy already did that.
Yeah.
So, well, as a bonus one, we've got one from Kyle in Nebraska.
What do you got, Kyle?
The Acid 20th Anniversary Croqueta.
That's my favorite cigar.
I don't know that cigar, but from what I understand, that's the one that tastes like grape jelly.
You know, we had a Drew Estate event, and it was on the 20th anniversary of Acid Cigars. And our rep gave us some Acid 20s and said, smoke these. Like, right as he got in, he put his stuff down and said, here, smoke these.
You're like, dude, can I have a few drinks first?
So Scott and I, we didn't know what the hell's going on. So we said, thank you. And so we grabbed them. We put our stuff in the office, and we took them out of the cello, put them in our mouth, and both were like, what? It's a box press weird is what it is. It's very unique in flavor. I wouldn't say it tastes like grape jelly. I think there's so much sugar in the pectin that it plays off of the fermentation of the leaf to evoke that type of flavor profile.
Wow.
There's a little bit of wild berry in there, and it might be part of the infusion, but for the most part, it is very sweet and it is very different. And if you're not expecting it, I honestly say it is very off-putting.
Okay, put it mildly.
Yeah.
Off-putting.
Yes.
So, you know, I started out my whole cigar smoking thing and to starting out medium plus and working my way up to bold very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that was actually a huge fan of Acid cigars.
Yeah.
And he talked about them all the time. And I was like, well, shit, I got to smoke these. These sound delicious. And I think my very first one was a Blondie. And I was so shocked at how awful it was. And I was just like, and this dude's been smoking cigars way longer than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that tells you right there that his palate, he loves those.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it was absolutely horrible. So, you know, it's all subjective.
It is. And you got to keep in mind, there is a market out there, or it's not going to exist. There's so much against tobacco right now that everything that's out there that you can get your hands on, there's enough people out there that love them to keep it going.
Right.
And
because if they're not, they won't be around.
Exactly. Case in point, I would put neck and neck the Acid Blondie Bellicoso, which a friend of mine has bought several recently, with the Nat Sherman Hobart. Now, a lot of people don't know about Nat Sherman Hobart, and a lot of people might. It is a sugar pectin Connecticut, essentially.
I've never
You have
smoked
a very
it.
sweet cap, and it came in a really interesting looking, cool little box, but just as quickly as we had it in our humidor, it was gone because you turn around and Nat Sherman's gone.
Oh, yeah.
But Nat Sherman Hobart and the Blondie Bellicoso, I think, is neck and neck. But again, I mean, different strokes for different folks. A friend of mine, we put into question whether he was okay.
Was that Matthew?
No. It wasn't
Okay.
Matthew. It was a closer friend than that. But we were wondering, we actually, Scott and I had a conversation. I said, hey, look at this. And he goes, what the hell? And we started getting a little bit concerned that maybe something wasn't right. And maybe he was turning, a different way sexually or, flavor profile wise. So
it was Alan.
It was a very...
It was Alan.
No. It was a very big contrast to what he normally has.
Very interesting.
And
I know this was not Dwayne.
well, and here's the thing, and this is just telling of the cigar community is you can travel from, your palate will develop. You travel from cigar to cigar. And when there's a stark contrast, your closest friends are going to know.
Absolutely.
They're going to recognize it. And then that could be symbolic of something more deep-seated that's changing in your life. And that's a trigger to ask, hey, man, are you okay? Are things okay?
And my response is, whose car we taking?
Right. And for that part, I would say, that's just one other aspect of cigars being awesome.
Absolutely.
Is you develop a reputation for yourself, but also your consistency in what you smoke. As it changes, if it's gradual, that's great. If there's a sharp drop off or something changed dramatically, that's a telling sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all of us experience that one way or the other.
So I want to just take a moment and ask you, Rob, why are you smoking acids? I'm just kidding. It's not Rob, everybody. It's not Rob.
I did smoke acids once.
You did, yeah. When you first got started, your brother.
I actually tried like 2 or 3
Yeah.
when my friend recommended them because I
Right.
thought maybe, I got the Blondie. I hated it. And then I don't know what I think the other one was like just a natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those naturals.
You ever
that are
have-
sweetened.
Yeah.
But then my last one, and I thought this one was actually going to be something that I really enjoyed
Yeah.
because it's a beautiful stick.
Oh, lay it on us.
The deep dish box press.
Oh.
It's like a 60 ring gauge. I don't know what the length was, but it's a
6.
beautiful cigar.
It's a 6x60 box pressed. You know what?
And
you know
then
what
as soon as I lit it up, I was like, oh, it's a sweet tip.
Yeah. You could have asked somebody.
Yeah.
I love that cigar.
Do you really?
I do. I love that cigar. And I'll tell you why. Is when you open up a fresh box of acids, there's this disgusting box filler that smells like patchouli.
Same with tampons.
And so you remove that and you have all this extra space. You know what the Cuba Cuba does?
No.
Or the 6x60 box press?
No.
You shift it over, you can put one more inside. As a retailer, you can line up those cigars so nicely. It is phenomenal. That's what I like about those cigars.
Well, I guess there's always something to like about something. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll plan on having Bryant back next week. We also want to say thank you to the Light 'em Up crew.
Light 'em up, crew.
You guys make this show possible every freaking month, every freaking week. And if you, as a Patreon, calls the leaf, Jay's giving you free shipping. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
So if you mention that you are a Patreon or that you listen to Cigar Talk, if you listen to Cigar Talk, we may throw in a free sticker. But if you are a Patreon, you'll get free shipping because I'm charging it to Rob's account.
Awesome. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with us, Jay, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. And until next time,
Keep smoking.
boom.